What up, people? Your boy Snacks is back in the building with another banger. And you know how we do before we get started. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn your post notification bell on so your boy, so you'll know when your boy is going live or dropping his heat. It's game day. And I've been holding off my predictions and everything until game day. Plus, your boy was busy yesterday. Yesterday was negotiation day, contract day, negotiation day with FedEx. We've been doing it for a couple of weeks, but yesterday was deadline day and we had to get it done. So that's why you didn't get videos or anything else from me because I was dealing with FedEx and lawyers and trying to get this contract finished. We trying to keep the money flowing. I got kids to feed and a family to take care of. You know what I'm talking about? But we are back, baby. So, Colorado, Nebraska, game day. Y'all ready to get into it? Let's go. Shedeur Sanders versus the incoming rookie. Mini Mahomes is what they calling him? Really? Dylan Raiola? Because he wears shades like Patrick. A little chunky like Patrick. But he has a lot of respect. Dylan Raiola comes into the league hoping to spark Nebraska's comeback into prominence as Nebraska used to be that team back in the 90s, not the 2000s, the 90s, back in them days. For those of you that are not old enough to remember those days, Tommy Frazier and them up until the late 90s, yeah. But just like Colorado, the last 20 years or so, ain't been all that relevant. They ain't been making no noise. So everybody's on the comeback mode. Coach Prime and the Nebraska coach both started their prospective careers at the same time. Both are rebuilding programs to prominence at the same time. Last year, this game was personal because Matt Rule jumped on the opportunity to say that he builds his team different. He doesn't need all the flash and the spotlight and cameras recording. He doesn't recruit, build his team from the portal. He keeps the players that he has and trains them up from there. Last year, this game was personal. And Nebraska got run out of the doggone stadium. This game ended really 36-7. Nebraska scored on pretty much the last play of the game, making the score 36-14. Nebraska really got ran out of the building last year. If for those of you that were watching or watched the highlights, if you haven't, go back and watch them on YouTube. It's pretty horrendous. They did get after Shedeur a lot last year. I think Nebraska had 8 sacks in this game. But Shedeur still carved them to sleep. 400 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Nebraska had, 3 or 4 turnovers. Jeff Sims was butterfingers and scared because Folsom was rocking. Folsom was on fire. And I don't think Jeff Sims was pretty doggone nervous in that game, which was the second game of Nebraska's football season, which they lost their first game of the season, and coming into Folsom trying to get some get back didn't turn out well. Moving on to this year, Nebraska is the hype team. Nebraska is the favorite. I don't know why. because they're returning the same, pretty much the same offense they had last year, the same defense they had last year, besides Isaiah Neyor and Jamal Banks on the receiving end. They're pretty much returning everybody, unlike Colorado, who once again revamped their roster and built something better than what they had. Nebraska is favored to win this game by 7. The line started at 10, which I bet the 10. But now Nebraska is favored to win by 7 at home in a sea of red in Lincoln, Nebraska. Everybody swears up and down that stadium is going to be rocking. We've seen the Nebraska crowd. I think they still hold the record for the longest sellouts, continuous sellouts of home games, which says a lot for that fan base. And of course, we already know that a lot of that comes with Coach Prime. So tonight, as the sun goes down, that stadium is gonna be off the chain. A sea of red, Nebraska fans fully engulfed in this football game, completely wanting to beat Coach Prime, then wanting to beat Colorado. Shedeur showed out last year, went to center of the field, hit Matt Rule with that Shedeur because he felt disrespected. And which a young man is supposed to do when he feels someone disrespects their father. They're supposed to do their thing. Next week's game is going to be completely different because Shedeur was disrespected. And next week is going to be personal. But right now, we concentrate on Nebraska. Which, as we look at the stats last week, Shedeur was 26 of 34 for 445, which is a pretty good game. Dylan Raiola was 19 of 27 for 238 with 2 tutties, which was a pretty good game for a freshman quarterback. But nevertheless, the competition that they were playing was, UTEP wasn't all of that, And I think Dylan Raiola was out of the game pretty much the middle of the third quarter, which gave them room to start 2 more quarterbacks. And the other quarterback went 5 for 5 for 100 yards. 5 for 5 for 35 yards. And then the other one went 1 for 3 for 33 yards. 1 for 3 for 11 yards. I'm sorry. And, you can't. That's UTEP. They played a lot of receivers. They played all of their running backs. Every last one of them. They played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 running backs last week. 8. Emmett Johnson, 8 attempts for 71 yards. Dante Dowdell, 8 attempts for 55 yards. Ramir Johnson, 11 attempts for 50 yards. Gabe Irvin Jr., 6 attempts for 24 yards. Maurice Makazu, 5 attempts for 8 yards. Kenneth Williams, 1 attempt for 5 yards. Kenneth Ives, 3 attempts for 4 yards. Makai Nelson, 1 attempt for 2 yards. And then all the quarterbacks ran for yards. But they put up 223 yards altogether as a team, which I don't think they get that today. Today is the debut of Colorado's offense. I'm not worried about their defense. The defense is going to stand stout. Today is what all the pundits have been waiting for, which will be the debut of the Colorado's offense and their running game, because the holes will be big and the running backs will run through them. Colorado will put up probably about 250 in rushing, if not more. Shedeur probably throw for over 400. This game is based on style, not substance or flash. And Colorado has the style to overwhelm Nebraska. If Nebraska stays steady in that 3-3-5 defense, they're going to get carved up the way they got carved up last year. But this year, Colorado has the offense and the offensive line to open holes. And we will see that today. You will see those holes big enough to drive my 18-wheeler through. Colorado will show you a running game today. So don't be surprised when you see Dallin Hayden, Charlie Alfredall, Micah, all these guys busting the open. Colorado will have about 4 to 5 sacks today and probably 3 interceptions. Today will be Colorado's day. I'm just saying. Because the only upgrade I think Nebraska has is their quarterback. Everything else pretty much stayed the same. Yes, you get better with a year together as an offensive and defensive line. You get more cohesion. But skill and talent will always do its thing. Always. And I think Colorado is more talented in the offensive and defensive lines. They definitely are better skilled at their skill player position, wide receiver, running back, that nature. I don't know if Dylan Raiola will be able to make the passes that he made last week. I don't think he'll have the open lanes that he had last week. The pass rush is going to be 100% better. Deion Hayes, Samuel Okunlola, BJ Green, these guys are coming. And they're coming hard. They're coming fast. The blitz packages you will see from Colorado today is going to be interesting because you haven't seen the DC's defense yet. You saw a plain defense last week. You didn't see an exotic defense last week. You saw a rather vanilla defense on the field from Colorado. A lot of press man, no zones, no stunts, no twists, no blitz, no linebacker blitz, no safety blitzes, no cornerback blitzes, no zone blitzes, no nothing. You didn't even see a zone out of Colorado last week. Colorado is going to switch their defenses up. They're going to go from a 3-3-5 to a 4-3 to a 4-4 to a 4-2-5, and they're going to be like, what the hell is going on? Because Robert Livingston is not set. He's not a set defensive guy. He doesn't call just one defense. It ranges from how the game is going. So you might start out with a 4-3. You might start out with a 3-3-5. But how they attack the offense will determine how often you see that. Just like on Colorado's offense. Nebraska's going to push to try to get Shedeur. They're going to push. They're going to send blitzes after blitz after blitz after blitz. And they're going to get hit with screen after screen after draw play. And pretty soon you're going to have to be honest. Because they're going to be getting smothered by this offense. The offense was vanilla last week. You didn't see no jet sweeps. You didn't see no counter plays. You didn't see really nothing from Colorado last week. You didn't see no 22s. You didn't see no tight ends, no jumbos, no dual back sets. You're going to see that this week. They played vanilla. So the film that they put out for Nebraska would be soft. The line will get better because they had film last week. Offensive and defensive lines. They will get better. They're going to be a whole lot better than they were last week. Their protection schemes are going to be a lot better than they was last week. It's too plain Jane last week. And every pundit that I've watched, all of them said the same thing. Colorado didn't change anything. We didn't see any differences. You're telling me you didn't see the difference in the way Shedeur was protected. You didn't see the way that he wasn't sacked but one time last year. When in the TCU game, I think he was sacked 4 to 5 times in that game. Nebraska game sacked 7 times. This man was sacked 52 times last season. Do you know how many times that averages per game? So please tell me you didn't see a difference when you saw a difference. You didn't see a running game because last week wasn't set up to push the running game. This week, though, the running game will be made clear that Colorado has an offensive line that can move the ball and push the ball when needed. They will be able to do the things they need to do to control the clock and get the ball down the field. Nebraska is going to throw everything at Colorado because Matt Rule needs this game so bad. Where deionsanders really don't need this game, Nebraska needs this game more than Colorado because Colorado already gets all the hate. They get all the, and we don't know, we might come over and be fans or we might not. We're going to wait and see how y'all do instead of fans that's going to be fans. Nebraska needs this game for momentum. They got probably the weakest schedule in the Big Ten. They probably play 3 big games all season, this being one of them. With who else? USC and Ohio State on the schedule. That's it. Which everybody calls Colorado's back end of the schedule the gauntlet. Their last 6 games are supposed to be the gauntlet, which I think they'll it's not going to be a problem because Colorado is only going to get better as the year progresses. Yet people don't remember that these are 5, 10 brand new linemen playing together for the first time. They haven't put hat on a hat with an opposite team until last week. See how that turned out. Now with the film and 10 days to practice before the Nebraska game to get better cohesion, to learn each other better, to see what happens when you got this man stunting from the outside to the inside. Who should pick up that block? Who should shift? Who should roll off of who? It's a lot of changes that's going to be made to this offense. And the question is, what are they going to do with the information? Are they going to get better? I think they will because they got better athletes than they had last year. Now, the question is, how would Dylan Raiola react to what he's going to see? Will he panic? Or will he stand tall and take those shots? Because once you start getting hit, unlike Shedeur, most quarterbacks get happy feet. And I think they're going to hit him how often and early. Because once they figure out they can't run the ball or their running game gets snubbed a little bit, they're going to have to go to the air. Colorado has no problem throwing the ball. They love to do that because of the wide receiver options that they have. Jimmy Horn, Travis Hunter, LeJounte Will, Omarion Miller. Oh my God. That wide receiver room is so deep. So what's going to happen is Colorado's going to win this game. They're going to cover the 7. And if they can stop Nebraska's run and run the ball, which I think they will be able to run the ball because Nebraska plays a base 3-3-5, is their base defense, which they're going to have to shift it and hopefully load the box to try to stop the run. And that's going to lead to a whole lot of trouble for Nebraska. So I think this game ends in a blowout. If what I say is going to happen is going to happen. It's either going to end in a blowout or it's going to be a shootout. I'm thinking blowout. I think Colorado wins this game somewhere in the high 40s, low 50s, with Nebraska somewhere in the low to mid 20s. And if played right, they might end up in the high 60s, low 60s. If I see what I think I see, because everybody's hype on Dylan Raiola. I'm not that convinced. I've seen him with the bad passes, and there was a lot of them. Shedeur is accurate. Shedeur can be trusted to make those plays and throw those balls. Dylan can't. And I think he's going to make a couple of bad decisions because he's going to see things he hasn't seen. And it's going to get bad. And it might get bad quick, early. And if it does, I don't know if Nebraska can recover. The thing is, just like the Sanford game, can Colorado close? And that was the biggest problem they had last year. Get leads, but can't close. Can't hold the opponent off. Running the ball or passing the ball. This year, they're a whole lot better. Got better athletes. Got better blocking. So, question is, will you hold? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I didn't mean for this video to be that long, but it's going to be a long day. And your boy got to take a nap. Got my son's football game later on today. Plus, I'm volunteering rep on another game, so we'll see. Anyway, man, we're going to get out of here. Y'all leave y'all comments in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the follow button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And a lot of y'all watch my videos are not subscribed. 35-40% that watch me. Go on and subscribe, man. Hit the subscribe button. Get your underdog fantasy bets in today. Use my code Big Snacks with 2 Ks. You see it on the screen. Hit me up on the y'all's Twitter. You can't hit me on my Twitter, or hit me on the Instagram and do what you do. East Coast Kev, I got your email. I saw that video. Shout out to East Coast Kev for always trying to keep your boy on. We find them haters and we put them on blast and let everybody know who hate. You know what I'm saying? And Kev sent me an email yesterday. I wasn't able to get to it and do the video because, like I told you, I was busy. But I appreciate you for the information. We ain't gonna deal with Sean Keeler, man. We'll worry about him later. But y'all do what y'all do. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.